The stool wobbled uneasily, threatening to fall from underneath me as I stood on the tips of my toes and screwed the long fluorescent tube into place. The tips of my fingers grazed the hanging lights, and I breathed out a sigh of relief once I felt the tube click into place. "You still gotta lock the bulb cover back in place," Sammy called out from below me. "Yes, thank you, I'm aware. How's the heater coming along?" "Things still pretty busted. Might have to pull the extra space heater out of the back room. I think the capacitor might be blown out. I don't understand why Gary expects us to be able to fix this shit. We aren't mechanics. This is a fucking gas station, and it's a holiday." "Well, we are getting paid extra tonight, remember? It's the only reason I even came in. At least we can be grateful for that." I heard Sammy grumble below me as I popped the bulb cover back in place with a satisfying click. "Okay, this light should be good now. I replaced the ballast and swapped out the bulbs, so we should be all set. I'm climbing down now." I held my breath and climbed down from the stool cautiously, only breathing out in relief when my feet touched the ground. I glanced over at Sammy, who was in the process of adjusting the hair tie on her ponytail. "His stupid fucking heater, man," she grumbled out, slamming the box closed in frustration. "We'll have to call some repair guys later. In the meantime, I need you to go make sure Spencer isn't slacking off. He's supposed to be stocking shelves right now, but I haven't seen him leave the break room since we started fixing this stuff." I nodded towards Sammy before turning and briskly walking towards the back of the station. I swung the door to the stockroom open, stepping inside to find Spencer leaning against a shelf and tapping away on his phone. I gritted my teeth in annoyance. "Spencer, what the fuck are you doing, man? We're on the clock here. Start moving boxes, let's go." He glanced up suddenly, a look of nervous guilt passing across his face. He quickly stuffed his phone inside of his pocket. Sorry, Brendan, I'll get right to it," he uttered out, nervously scratching at his dry scalp beneath the short brown curls of his bowl cut. He grabbed a box of assorted snacks and began to shuffle past me out of the stockroom. I sighed in frustration, turning around to follow him out. "Yeah, he was playing on his phone back there," I called over to Sammy. "What next, boss?" I saw Sammy smoothing out some of the Halloween stickers on the window. She glanced over her shoulder towards me. "I think pump 3 is broken. Can you go outside and check it out?" I nodded, briskly walking towards the front door. "And Spencer? If there weren't security cameras in here, I'd kick your ass for slacking off like that. You're getting paid double for even coming in today. It was an optional shift. Why'd you show up if you're not going to work?" I didn't get to hear Spencer's response as I stepped outside, door creaking shut behind me. I could hear the distant chirping of crickets and croaking of frogs as my sneakers scraped across the asphalt lot. I quickly strode over towards Pump 3, glancing up and down the empty road that ran by the front of the station for any sign of approaching vehicles. Across the street was a sign with an arrow pointing to the west that read, "St. Louis, 22.1 miles. I took my phone out of my pocket, shining it at the small green LED screen of Pump 3. Splashed across it in plain text were the words, "See cashier inside, error E01. I hadn't looked at the handbook in a while, but if I remembered correctly, that just meant the card reader was having some difficulty communicating with the payment system. There wasn't much I could do to fix that. Gary didn't like us turning the pumps back off and on, despite it being the easiest way to fix this particular error. Without much else to do, I just shrugged and turned back towards the station. I took a moment to appreciate the dim red lighting of the 70s-style neon letters hanging over the station, Gary's Gas and Snacks. It wasn't a very large or popular station. We were only floating above bankruptcy because of our strategic location on Southern Illinois Route 40 heading into St. Louis. Only the left half of the front of the station had a window. The right half was a concrete wall with a dumpster pressed up against it. Graffiti and a few posters covered the wall. I briefly glanced over towards them and my eyes were drawn to the text. "We are hiring. Part-time, full-time, anytime. For a moment, I thought I had prospects of getting out of this shitty minimum wage job where I had to work holidays and overtime to make ends meet. Then, I saw the logo and immediately lost interest. Pharos wasn't a particularly problematic company at face value. They were carbon neutral, stable employers, and they were backed by the government, but everyone had heard the stories of former employees talking about OSHA violations, back-end deals, and nepotism that supposedly plagued the working lives of the employees there. Not to mention the fact it was theorized they were behind a boat exploding in the Chicago harbor and causing a massive fire that burned a bunch of valuable cargo. Nobody wanted to work for Pharos unless they had to, and I wasn't that desperate yet. My eyes paused as they began to scrape back towards the building, noticing a red sticker that had been placed on the dumpster that I'd somehow overlooked earlier. Read, "Notice. This dumpster is in violation of the Madison County Recycling Ordinance as of 10/31/16. For fuck's sake. That was yet another problem we'd have to tell Gary about in the morning. I began to walk back towards the station when, from no particular direction, a blood-curdling scream cut through the air. I stopped dead in my tracks, a cold chill rushing through my entire body as adrenaline began to course through my veins. The sound of chirping crickets and croaking frogs had stopped. It was dead, quiet, like the entire world was holding its breath, waiting for me to move. I got the sudden, intense feeling that I was being watched. After a few seconds, I mustered up the willpower to sprint towards the gas station. I felt a very primal fear, like I was running up the stairs after turning off the basement light in my childhood home. I felt as if something was right behind me, silently racing towards me with full intent to kill, gaining impossibly fast. Then I reached the door and swung it open. The humming of the lights cut back in as I rushed inside, panting and gasping for air. I slammed the door behind me, turning around to face the entrance and backing away slowly. There was nothing there. "Brandon, you alright?" Sammy called over to me, head leaning out from behind a shelf towards the back of the store. "You look like you've seen a ghost or something," she said, half-jokingly. My brain struggled to muster a response, eyes still darting around for some unseen threat. "I heard a scream outside," I muttered out. "Like someone just got attacked or something." "Nice," Sammy said sarcastically. "Trying to play a spooky Halloween prank on me? Gonna have Spencer walk around that corner with a ski mask and a big scary butcher's knife?" "Sammy, I'm serious. I heard a horrible scream out there and I felt like I was being watched." "Cool," she deadpanned. "How's pump 3? Did you get it fixed?" "No, Sammy, this isn't a joke. I genuinely heard... Dude, calm the fuck down. It's 10 p.m. on Halloween night. The moon is a sliver in the sky. We're in a gas station in the countryside, flanked by woods. And you were outside, in the dark, alone. Of course you think something was watching you. Your mind and body are basically conditioned to assume that in this kind of setting. Nothing was watching you. There was no dangerous killer in the bushes. We're not in a horror movie. This is real life. The worst thing out there could be a coyote or a rabid dog or something." "Yes, those can still be very dangerous, Sammy," I exclaimed in protest. "But they're not gonna get you in here. I need you to pull yourself together. Go into the break room until you've calmed down or something. I can't have a customer coming in and seeing you freak the fuck out." Yeah, okay," I nodded slowly and began to take deep breaths. Her logic was sound enough to mostly calm me down, but I still felt a nagging sensation at the back of my mind. What was that scream? I tried to brush past it, moving the conversation to a more mundane topic. Pump 3 is spitting out an E01. I could just fix it by resetting the pump, but then Gary would say that it fucks up the fuel dispense numbers. I keep telling him the underground tank probably has a leak, but no! The problem is clearly that we're resetting the machines. She stood up from behind the shelf, walking over towards me. You seem at least a bit better. Think you can man the register for a while? I'm going on break, and Spencer's in the stockroom sorting things. Yeah, I think I can handle that, I responded, walking over towards the register. A few boring, silent minutes passed by before I heard the door swing open. I glanced up from my phone to see a girl in a green turtleneck sweater nervously step into the building. She looked about the same age as me, around 19 or 20. Her long golden hair was in disarray, and her black painted nails were chipped. She fidgeted with her black fingerless gloves, eyes glancing around the interior nervously. She slowly, cautiously crept over towards the counter. Welcome to Gary's. What can I help you with? If you're here for Pump 3, we're already aware that it's broken and we're working on it. Hi, She spoke in a low, nervous voice, barely above a whisper. My car got stuck about a mile up the road, and I left my phone at home on accident, so I, just... She looked seconds away from a nervous breakdown. She must have walked along the roadside on foot. It's okay, ma'am. Calm down. I can call the towing company if you'd like me to, but it'll take a while for them to get out here, and it'll be a fee. Oh, no, it's fine. I just need somebody to help push it back onto the road. I tried to, do it myself, but, She trailed off slowly. Okay. I can grab one of my coworkers to mend the register. Wait here a moment, please. As I turned to walk towards the break room, Spencer stepped out of the stockroom with a box of various candy bars. I glanced over at him. Spencer, I'm gonna help this girl push her car back onto the road. Can you man the register for a bit? He looked over towards me, a sly grin creeping across his face. Oh, I'm more than capable of, helping someone push their car back onto the road. Oh, god damn it. He hadn't even talked to the girl yet, and he was already head over heels for her. Dude, I got this. You don't have to— No, 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 no. He placed the box gently on the ground. I'm more than happy to help a lady in need. He brushed his hair back with the suaveness of a particularly human-shaped pile of slop. I didn't get paid enough to deal with this bullshit. Alright, fine, just get back within the hour. Spencer turned towards the girl as they both started to walk towards the door. He took off his coat, offering it over to her, which she took. So, what's your name? He asked over to her. Natalie. Well, Natalie, seen any good movies lately? The door closed behind them as they stepped outside. I watched the two of them walk out to the edge of the lot. At the halfway point, Spencer put his arms up with bravado to accompany some exclamation he'd just made. In response to this, I saw Natalie giggle. That was rather unexpected, and maybe he wouldn't come back crying this time. They turned right and walked alongside the road, moving behind the tree line and out of sight. After a few moments, I turned away from the window and took out my phone, letting my mind sizzle in the beams of light as I scrolled through my Twitter feed to pass the time. About 45 minutes passed with no additional customers showing up. My phone was starting to run low on battery, so I turned it off and stuffed it in my pocket. At that moment, the door to the break room swung open and Sammy stepped out with 2 cups of coffee. Yo, Brandon, need a pick-me-up? It's getting late. Oh, dude? Hell yeah, pass me a cup. Sammy walked over to the counter, handing me the cup of coffee. I took a sip of the delicious brew, nodding to Sammy in approval. That's some good shit. She glanced around the room. Where's Spencer? I thought he was out by you. Some girl came in, said her car got stuck up the road. Asked for help getting it back on the road, and Spencer being Spencer, couldn't resist a chance to show off to a girl. So the 2 of them left about 45 minutes ago. Poor girl, Sammy responded in between sips of coffee, being subjected to Spencer's horrible pickup lines and shitty puns. I'm not so sure. As they were walking away, I think I saw her laugh at something he said. Sammy raised an eyebrow. Oh, that's new. Maybe he has a chance with her. Still, probably not. You know when he'll be back? Any second now. I took a long sip of coffee. She said it was only about a mile up the road. I paused for a moment. The scream from before flashing through my mind like an unwelcome specter. Hey, you see who decided to put a poster up on the wall near the dumpster? Oh, if you're talking about the missing poster, I've already looked over all the security camera footage and shit for her, and she went missing months ago, so... No. I mean, an advertisement. Guess who? A rival gas station? JC Jensen Laundromat? Some telemarketer scam? No, dude. Pharos. She took a sip of her coffee before what I had just said sunk in halfway through. She set the mug down on the counter, doing a mental double take. Wait, what? Yeah, dude. Pharos put a hiring ad on our wall. How much do you think Gary got paid for that? She sighed. Whatever it wasn't enough. He's really so desperate that he'd put a Pharos ad up on the wall? Didn't Governor Ronner basically kick them out of Illinois after the Chicago Harbor fire? Okay, to play devil's advocate, it's only speculated that they were the ones that made it catch on fire. He condemned them anyway, so I don't think it matters, speculation or not. If Gary is really desperate enough to risk our public image for a Pharos poster, maybe it's time we jump ship. Not like this job has any future prospects. Whoa, wait, what? I was confused at this coming from Sammy, who had put so much genuine work and love into the station. Sammy, you can't be serious, can you? She paused for a moment before hopping up onto the counter. Look around, Brandon. We're sitting in a gas station on Halloween night. A gas station positioned right outside of a major city. In the past 2 hours, one person has come in, and they weren't even here to buy anything. The heater doesn't work, the fluorescent lights keep going out, the pumps keep glitching, and we're getting paid minimum wage. The only reason this place is still running is because Gary can't afford to stop running it. This is the definition of a dead-end job. Not only that, but most of the people I've met here are borderline unbearable, except for you. Thank you. Didn't expect a genuine compliment today. She shrugged. Just saying the truth. I'm giving you an out right now, Brandon. If we quit together, we can go find a better job. The Walgreens in Highland has 2 job openings, and they start accepting applications tomorrow. I'm friends with the manager's daughter, and he said that if I apply and bring one person I know is a good worker, there's a guarantee that me and whoever I bring with me gets in. You're the only person I enjoy hanging out with here, so you're the obvious choice. It took me a moment to process all that information. That's very kind of you, Sammy. You know what? I don't have much to lose. Let's do it. Sammy nodded, a smile creeping across her face. Hell yeah, dude. I'll call Gary once this shift is over. The lights flickered overhead. We glanced up at the lights and back at each other. Then they cut out completely. We were plunged into near absolute darkness. The only light creeping into the station came from the sliver of the moon that peeked out from Earth's shadow, hanging above the trees. I set down my coffee cup. Sammy slid off the counter, landing on the ground with a huff. Fuse box is probably busted. Hell of a last day, huh? A loud bang came from just outside the building, followed by the sound of shuddering plastic. Both of us jumped. With the fluorescent lights gone, it was eerily quiet inside the station, and with my attention being drawn to the noise outside, I noticed that the sounds of the woods had stopped once again. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Spencer walked up to the glass door, opening it as he stepped inside. He was panting heavily. "Oh, hey guys. I'm back. What happened to the lights?" Sammy stepped forward. "We know about as much as you. What was that loud bang?" Spencer was quiet for a moment, as if trying to articulate a response. "Well, someone left a garbage bag in front of the dumpster, so I tossed it in. Anyway, got her car unstuck, and she's on the road." I tilted my head to the side curiously. I haven't seen any cars go by. "Oh, yeah, she turned down a different route." I shrugged. Spencer had no real reason to lie about something like this. Sammy stepped forward, stubbing her toe on the side of the counter. "Ah! Can't see shit in here!" Sammy reached for her phone. Wait! Spencer called out, seemingly alarmed at this. Sammy looked at him quizzically. "What? Dude, why are you being weird?" Save your battery. Who knows how long we'll be here for." "Dude, what?" I questioned in confusion. "Our shift ends at 1, bro. That's in, like, an hour and a half. Are you good?" Great. Yeah, I'm great," he quickly responded. "Just, tired from, pushing that car back onto the road." "Okay, dude," Sammy said. "You keep being weird in the stock room or something. In the dark, away from me. I'm gonna go check on the fuse box outside." I'll come with you," I butted in quickly. Something about the way Spencer was acting was odd, in a way that was deeply unnerving. I didn't want to interact with him. I followed Sammy outside. The silence was even more deafening out here. Not a single creature dared to make a sound except for us. "What the fuck is going on?" Sammy whispered. "He is acting so weird right now." I nodded. "Yeah, I don't fucking know. Let's just check the fuse box and ride out the rest of this shift, and then we never have to talk to Spencer again." "Thank God," Sammy uttered in disgust. "He means well, but he's a shitty worker and a bit of a weirdo." We passed the dumpster, rounding the corner to the side of the station. It felt oddly claustrophobic, the trees pressing in on our left and the graffiti-covered concrete wall pressing in on our right as we approached the fuse box. Sammy grabbed the metal panel cover, peeling it open with a modicum of effort as the hinges groaned from rust and age. She took out her phone, turning the flashlight on as she gazed inside. I leaned over her shoulder. The panel looked operational, but all of the switches had been flipped off. A lump formed in my throat. "I think this might be a prank?" Sammy's voice wavered as she spoke. "But this is a pretty shitty prank to full-on Halloween. Send Spencer a text. Chew him the hell out. Then we're leaving. I nodded, whipping out my phone and sending a text to Spencer. Dude, this is not fucking cool. Cut out your stupid prank and get out here now. There was no response. I grumbled angrily. Going around the front to chew his ass out. Sammy nodded. I'll start flipping these switches back. I rounded the corner, ready to unleash holy hell on Spencer, but he wasn't waiting for me at the door. Annoyed, I decided to call him. As soon as I pressed the call button, a new sound permeated out of the darkness of the night. A ringtone. Spencer's ringtone. It was coming from the dumpster. I walked over to it. Why the hell would he throw away his phone? Maybe it was an accident? Whatever, I'd grab it for him. It gave me one more thing to yell at him about. As I opened the dumpster, though, I saw something I was not expecting. Spencer was lying in a pile of trash in the dumpster, head twisted nearly 180 degrees, far past any angle he could reasonably survive. Chunks of flesh and muscle were missing, as if a rabid animal had torn into his body. I saw the blue light of his phone screen piercing through the fabric of his jean pocket. Then I heard the door open. I turned to my right slowly, seeing Spencer standing in the open doorway of the gas station. He was looking right at me. The lights inside flickered and then turned back on. The Spencer in the doorway was wearing his coat, which was speckled in blood. Underneath it, he wore a green turtleneck sweater. I stepped back, and in response, he took a long stride towards me. His face twisted, the features morphing and molding as I heard bone cracking and muscle tearing from the doppelganger's form. The brown bowl cut was replaced with long, flowing blonde hair. Spencer's nails, bitten down to the roots, elongated, their color warped and twisted like a chameleon's scales, changing to be painted black. Natalie stared at me now, grinning. I turned to run, making it about 2 steps before I felt a hand slam over my mouth with inhuman force. I tried to scream, but the hand just pressed in deeper, pushing my jaw in until I felt white-hot flashes of pain slam through my skull and heard the pop of my jaw dislocating. I raised the hand that held my phone, swiping to the emergency call section, but before I could input a number, Natalie's other hand slammed into my wrist. She twisted it in the socket effortlessly, and I heard it snap as my hand fell limply like a sock puppet, my phone clattering to the ground. "Sorry, guy," she whispered into my ear with a mocking sympathy. "You were all just such easy targets, and I couldn't pass up a free meal."